successful to make money, but you don't want to be a successful person who used to have money. So it's not about trying to tell you how to live your life or only save. It's being smart with what you have so that when you're older, when I mean older, you may be 20 now, but when you're 40, if you're not making money in the music business anymore, you still have money left over working from you from when you worked so hard and you made some.
All right. Thank you, guys. Octavius, let's start with you. I don't know. Let's see.
You have a question, or you want me to start talking?
No, you start talking. I'm gonna let y'all work this yourself. I'm gonna shut up.
Want me to start talking?
Is your name Octavius?
Yeah, Lisa, because you need Lisa before you need me.
Okay, Lisa, go ahead first.
You want me just to talk about what it is I do? Do you guys
Yeah,
want to know what it is?
yeah.
Like what's going on? Okay. Our first panel, I heard some questions, and I just wanted to address one thing. And I just know this from personal experience with, I don't know if you all know who Nocturnal is. He's an old school rapper, but he's got an album out called Knoxville through Treacherous Records, who's underneath me with that particular project. And he sold 553,000 downloads of an album in France. So the overseas thing is very prevalent in making money, more so, because when I get my sales reports and I look and see, it tells you exactly where it was bought, what country, what everything. It's mainly overseas. They don't really support, U.S. doesn't really support the artist like they used to. So I just kind of wanted to clarify that for you guys from the last panel. And so what I do is I have a label, and it's strictly distribution label. I have a full media distribution label, which means it's for film, ebook publishing, video on demand, music downloads, like Vivo. I have everything, full media, okay? And what I deal with is finished product. So it's really important the artists that come to me have a budget. Because I know there's a couple artists that were kind of asking questions about, how do I do this, how do I do that? You have to have a budget. Like another gentleman had said about, if it looks too good to be true, it usually is, and you want to run. But a good budget, a good project, and just being a good talent isn't enough. Because the internet is so big and is open so wide for the good, bad, and the ugly, the competition is even more. It's oversaturated. So you have to have the right machine behind you. And if you're getting on a platform such as what I have, you have to have a budget in place. You have to have a marketing team, promoting, radio play. You have to have all those components in place in order to drive the sales for your downloads. But what's happening and what I'm seeing is that the artists are making more money off their shows than they are their downloads. And that's why they have the 360 deals with the majors. Because they're not making the money like they used to, because you can download a single versus a whole album, and they're not making the money like they used to. So that's what I do. I distribute. I have like 285 people right now underneath my label. Some are labels, some are just as artists with certain projects and film and everything else. So that's what I do. And if anybody needs to talk to me afterwards, I'm more than happy to, give out my information. Does anybody have any questions? I could talk for hours about that. No, I know, but I'm just saying. I don't know if anybody had to ask me something. But.
Thank you, Lisa. I've known everybody on this panel at least a good decade.
Yeah.
At least. And this probably right here could run a label. Could like launch an artist in itself, just with what everybody brings to the table. A lot of people ask me what it is that a publicist does. I'm a publicist, not a publisher. A lot of people don't know the difference for whatever reason, but a publicist is pretty much your liaison between the artist and the public, and we help create your message, your brand, get your message out, and kind of introduce you to the world, introduce your voice, your platform, your music, your product, whatever it is. Being a good publicist, you definitely have to be a good writer, you have to be a good communicator, but you also have to have good relationships, because a lot of what I do is based on my relationships, because the reality is, although I've worked with people like Teddy Riley and Lamar Odom, Glasses Malone, Nipsey Hussle before he got big with Steve, and a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of West Coast artists, but a lot of people, when you're just starting out, and nobody knows go to Vibe and Double XL, just with a newbie. Like, you have to have a relationship with these outlets to even get you in the door. So first and foremost, you want to pick a team that has relationships and, can get you in the door. You need a manager who can get you in the door, get you meetings, get you, a publicist who can get you seen. Um, so that's long story short, what I do as a publicist. I'm also a journalist. I've been a journalist for 15 plus years. I've been with allhiphop.com for 15 years. I started off at Rap Pages magazine, which is dating dating myself. I know, right? That was my first paid writing assignment. So that was, and then I went on to help launch a magazine called Rhyme Magazine. I was there for about a year and a half, and then I joined All Hip Hop, and I started my own PR company. So, I have the advantage of knowing what it is that media outlets look for because I've worked with so many. And Visage Magazine is our publisher over there. I'm the creative director there now. So, I have the advantage of both sides. So, long story short, that's what I do.
Jeez. So that's what a PR agent does. Me, myself, being a producer, I'm probably one of, the producer and the managers. We probably have the most common job that most people know what we do, first off, without us really saying too much. I create the sound that gets you to the next level. It's very vital that people understand what every person's job on this stage does because they're all vital to your career. From the record company that puts your music out to the PR agent that, like earlier the younger man asked, how does he get his songs on Two Dope Boys and all these websites, you got to go through her because she's the person that has the connections that you need in order to bridge that gap between you and the outlets that are going to push your music to the public. Then for and foremost, the manager that helps you manage your situation. Now, a lot of artists, can you cut my mic down a little bit? Just a tad, cut me down a bit. Because I'm barely talking, I'm very white up here. Let me back up. There we go, thanks D, you are the greatest.
See, no, who else heard that?
There you go, that's why he get paid so much.
That's the producer's ear.
Yeah, it really was my ear. I lost my train of thought. But what I basically was saying was, you have to understand what everyone's position is in order for it to help your career. Most artists, when they come in the studio, and I see this all the time, they come in with their manager who's their homeboy, and he's a homie off the block, and I'm gonna be your manager, homie, and he your homeboy, but he really don't have no connections to get you to the next level in your career. You have to have certain people in your career that are really vital to your situation that can help take you to the next level. If I get an artist that comes into the studio and their manager is trying to run the session of the artist, we're no longer being creative. So sometimes you have to also let the artist be able to breathe and do their own thing so that they can be creative and make the music that takes them to the next plateau. My job is just helping you create that sound, define yourself as an artist, so that way this person here can help push you to the public and she can put your music out and he manages your situation. Some artists get a manager too early and they don't have a situation to manage. Make sure that you get, no, I'm serious.
No, you're right.
Make sure that you get your music correct, get your name hot, and understand what the manager does. The manager is he's not supposed to be booking your shows. The manager is not supposed to be doing all the extra nonsense. And, I just think if anyone wants to talk to me personally, I don't have any issues saying whatever it is to anyone on the side, give them my contact out, my information out, because it's a lot of information. And I'm not going to be up here trying to just talk long-winded, and I'm going to keep it short and dry and tell you straight to the point what it is.
Thank God, Dave.
I mean, basically, there's a lot of people out here. Everybody came here for an objective or a motive. And basically, I don't know if you're trying to rap, sing, produce, but learn the business. It's not what you think. Learn the business. And you need a team. I have a team. Kobe Bryant has a team. Jay-Z has a team. Together, everybody achieves more. You can't do it just by yourself. A rapper needs an agent, needs a business manager, needs a producer, needs an engineer, needs a manager, needs a publicist. You don't even need a major label no more. You could do it yourself with the power of the internet. And nothing happens overnight. Patience and sacrifice equals success. Hard work pays off. I've been doing this 2 decades, and nothing was given to me. Like I took what I wanted. I worked hard for it. I traveled the world. I didn't take no for an answer. I was everywhere. There's too much competition now. You got to be everywhere. Everybody's a rapper now, producer, singer. It gets sickening sometimes. And there's other aspects of the music industry that you could do. You know, I try to tell people that everybody's not going to make it in the music industry. So you could be a publicist, a lawyer, a DJ, a security guard, a road manager, tour manager, radio promo. There's so many aspects that you could do. And unfortunately, honestly, not everybody's going to make it. And I could sit up here for hours and educate you and tell you about my success in the music industry. But at the end of the day, it was organization, communication, never taking no for an answer, and common sense. And obviously God. And I've been successful, but what's success? You know, a couple of plaques, a house, a car. Money comes and goes, history stays. I just like giving back and helping people. I take artists before anybody knows them, and it takes 4 or 5 years, and then people know them. I will tell you, Nipsey Hussle, Rolling 60 Crip, no one even wanted to take a meeting with him. And I was taking meetings, and when I left, like, you know what you're dealing with? But now he's hot, everybody wants to call. Like, I'm a leader, I'm not a follower. You know, like, if you believe in something, who cares what someone says? As long as you believe in that artist or producer, whoever, just stick by their guns, because if God wants it to happen, it's going to happen. You know, that's what we do. We create. And, you know, I was an A&R for years. Now I'm a manager. At the end of the day, you get what you put into it. So, you know, like I said, thank you.
I'm Jazzy from Jazzy Management. Also, we have Jazzy Entertainment. Like I said, we're one of a few management companies that hit these prisons and these juvenile halls, because a lot of these youngsters just have no guidance. And I just wish more of our superstars would hit these prisons, man, because I'm born in the 60s, so each one teach one, you know. I have a gift of, you know, contract negotiations, and like Steve said, rap wasn't my calling. I was a rapper, started rapping, me and Ice-T and a few other cats were some of the first West Coast rappers. You know, I was Jazzy D back then. But rap was not my calling. I'm 10 times more known as a manager than I was as an artist, because I was one of those artists that didn't know how to copyright my music. I wasn't concerned about it because I was a young man that grew up in South Central, had an opportunity without joining the military, and I've been all over the world. So I'm living proof that if you put your heart to something and you really want to succeed in it, you will succeed. But what you're doing now may not be your calling. You may be successful in something else, and I totally agree with Steve when he said that. But me, I was a young dude that was rapping, and I got more interested in the business side. I said, man, you know what? I was live on 1580K there, and Russ Parr asked me a question, and I made a fool of myself. And I think that's what made me who I am today, because he asked me about publishing. And I said, yeah, all of my little homeboys is publishing my stuff, because I thought that was my posters, and they were posting them up Crenshaw, Slauson, and he kept bumping me. He kept Jazzy. We're live on the air. He said, so you do have publishing? I said, yeah, all my homeboys is publishing my stuff, you know. So when we went off air, he said, I kept trying to bump you to shut up because you didn't know what you were talking about. And I said, wow, I did not know what publishing was. So from that day on, I said, when I wanted to be a manager, I didn't want to just have a title. It's too many people that have a title and don't have no knowledge of what they are doing. My father had a title of laying down and doing what he did with my mother, and I came about, but he was not my father, because to be a father, you have to live up to that title. So I called him Carlos. I didn't call him Daddy. And I say that to say, if you're going to be a manager, don't think because one of your homeboys that you went to school with and played in the sand pit with and robbed banks with and banged the hood with has the knowledge of being your manager because you rob banks with him or y'all bang the hood. No. Because a manager is somebody that they once said that can elevate your career to the next level, that can go on his cell phone and make some calls, you know, to elevate your career to the next level and have knowledge of what title he's carrying. So I just said that I wanted to be a real manager, not to be better, but to have the knowledge to go to someone else and tell them, hey, this is how your artist fill out a split sheet. This is what publishing is. A lot of artists are putting music on YouTube and doing mixtapes and they think just because it's a mixtape, they don't have to copyright the content. Wrong. They don't even know what publishing is. You ask them the importance of ASCAP and BMI. Oh, my manager takes care of that. No, you need to know. You know, but I'm going to keep going on. and on, but I'm gonna pass the mic. But I'm real serious. If Steve LaBelle was a doctor and I stood next to him and got to speaking like I'm a doctor and saying stuff that don't make sense, he's gonna either say, "Hey man, you don't know what you're talking about," or he's gonna wait and walk to the side and tell us, what was he talking about?" So all I'm saying is, sometimes if you're a parent and your child is wanting to get into music and you don't have knowledge of it, you're not a manager. You're an overseer. It's your job to get the right representation for your child, because a lot of parents make the mistake of thinking they're managers, and you're not a manager if you cannot elevate that child's career to the next level. If you don't have a book with contacts, with DJ contacts, A&R contacts, PR contacts, you're not a manager. You're just merely that child's parent.
Once again, my name is Daryl Cox, Golden Years Investments, and my first question was, what in the world am I doing here? Okay? I know nothing about the music business. I know business, but I don't know the music business. I'm here because Big D and I became friends, and Big D and I became friends. We had no idea what each other did. I had no idea who he was in the music business. He had no idea who I was in the financial business. And over time, like, "Hey, what do you do? What do you do?" Okay? And it just came down to, he's like, "Well, you know, you're a financial advisor and so forth, and this is what you do." I said, "Well, how come you've never dealt with anybody in the entertainment business?" I said, "The reason being is because people who go after, who are financial advisors, who go after people in the music business and in the entertainment business are usually vultures who are trying to take advantage of these people. And that's not who I am, that's not how I operate. And I don't want to be seen to operate that way. I don't want to be seen soliciting the entertainment business or the music business, because it will lump me into a group of vultures. Everything that I do is guaranteed, or tangible, or risk adverse." And after having that conversation with him, he says, "I need you to come and speak to this panel. I need you at this music conference for that specific reason. Because with all the glitz and glamour and money and everything that comes along, it's been said even in the previous panel before we sit up here, there are people looking to take advantage of you at every turn. And I see it in my business. It's not just a music business. Wall Street is more of a Shark Tank than they could ever imagine compared to the music business. So what I'm trying to impart is only a few things. When you have someone come to you to look as far as investments, absolutely, this is what you have to do. This is how you create wealth. It's not stuffing money under your bed. It's not what's popular in the songs. Don't put your money in the bank, it's under the mattress. Money's a wasting asset. Money wastes away because of something called inflation. You watch an old movie and a cup of coffee used to be a dime. Now you go to Starbucks, it's $4.25. That's because money loses its value. So not only do you have to overcome inflation, you have to make sure it grows, and so you have money for the rest of your life. You know, we all know the stories of the MC Hammers, and this person had this much money and they don't have this much money. Someone who made $40 million and now they're broke. Okay? You also have the stories of someone who got sued, lost all their money, but still never has to work another day in their lives. I'm talking about O.J. Simpson. Okay? There are avenues that are guaranteed to always pay out, no matter what. Even if you get sued, if you lose everything, they can't go after these type of assets, and trust, and annuities, certain insurance policies. Okay? You know, and I know we all like to be flashy. I'm guilty also. You know, you want to go out and buy gold? Be smart about it. Don't go to K Jewelers and buy your 10-karat gold. Okay, you have to know what's investment grade, 24 karat. You just signed a deal. You got 100,000. Don't go to Marc Jacobs with $25,000 or K Jewelers with $25,000. Those are not investment grade diamonds. There are investment grade diamonds that you put in a watch, that you can put in your jewelry or wear around your neck and do whatever you want to do. but you have to know what to buy and what not to buy. You have to know your history. You have to know that owning gold is a fantastic thing. 1933 was something called the Gold Confiscation Act. Our currency used to be gold. Gold coins was our actual currency. 1933, Delano Roosevelt said no more gold, confiscated all the gold in the country, and we started using paper money. Okay? We've only been able to go own gold since 1974. But once again, it's what you buy. Do you want gold bars, gold coins, or do like Indians? Okay? In India, when they give gifts of gold, they give gifts of 24-karat gold because that's the purest gold there is. And the reason they do that is because what happens is that if you have to flee your home, this is in the United States, around the world, people actually use this for currency. You have to flee your home, what do? You put your necklaces and your bracelets and everything else on, and you carry your wealth with you. Okay? There are a lot of different caveats. You know, I'm not talking to just up-and-coming guys. I'm talking about the people here established. You know, you sign your deal. You get a $2 million advance, $3 million advance. Fantastic, great for you. Take that $1 million. Take $2 million, blow it. Go to your strip clubs. Do whatever you want to do. Okay? With $1 million of that. Okay?
Whoever's doing that's an idiot.
Yeah.
And they ain't giving $3 million deals these days.
So, well, you know, whatever money you have, I can give you real numbers. If you have $1 million, okay, put it away for 20 years, and the numbers work out to this. You can now take out $250,000 tax-free for the rest of your life. If it's $100,000, still the numbers work the same way. Now you have $25,000 a year forever, tax-free. So it's all scalable. So that is why I'm here. Anybody that wants to talk to me, that's fine. Everything that I'm talking about is not going to sink in right now. But you know what? The information I'm giving you, maybe it'll help you when you make a decision 3, 4 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. Maybe it'll click and say, hey, there's that guy who was sitting up on this panel talking about gold, or talking about, hey, let's be smart about where I do this. Because this is the most important thing when it talks about any of these people coming about you. I've got this hot investment. I've got this. I've got that. It's not about the return on your investment. It's the return of your investment. That's the most important thing. That's it.
I just want to jump back in real quick and say something. To everybody out there, learn who people are in this music industry, because the average person can be walking down the street like us, and we can really change your life. No disrespect, the rapper on the radio can't change your life. Everybody's too busy chasing the rapper or the singer and be close to them in VIP, but they ain't trying to do nothing for you. They just worried about what they have. Learn who people are. Like, I had an event last week, and I had a lot of industry people behind the scenes there, but if they're not in the power 30 in the source, then you might not know who they are. But they are powerful, because everybody's the same in life. We all bleed, we're all gonna die one day, we'll all wake up. Just that more people have more fame than others and more money, but everything goes up must come down, so that's why we stay humble. But learn who people are in the music industry. There's a lot of people out here behind the scenes could change people's lives, not the rapper that you think could change your life. He's worried about continuing his life on. So materialistic stuff doesn't even make people like us either. You know, we judge people for their soul and their mind, so that's how you should judge people. But I don't want to hog everything, but to be honest with you, knowledge is key. And if I was in this room with people like us, I'd be asking questions to learn about things about the music industry, because that's what I like to do, is empower people and give back advice for free, stuff that you can't read about or Google about. So I don't know what the next move is, but I would love for people to ask us questions to make it worthwhile that we did come, because we're here to give you free, great advice. Okay, thank you.
Can I just say real quick, shout out to Sir Jinx in the building.
I got a question. What's the difference between a publicist and a manager? Because a lot of people seem to put them in the same category. Like, what's the difference between the both of them?
There's a big difference. A publicist does not handle your day-to-day business. We don't book shows. We don't. We're not babysitters. Like,
babysitter.
Right. We do a lot of babysitting, but no, but strictly a publicist's job is to be your liaison to your public. Is to create your image, create your branding, not create necessarily, but help direct your branding. Um, and just get your messages out. We are, your introduction, your voice, so to speak, your platform. We help create your platform.
Yeah, I could touch on that as a management side. Publicist is a person, like she said, is what publicity is what others say about you. So her job is to make sure you everywhere, red carpets, every media outlet, whatever magazines are left, whatever newspapers are left, on site, websites. A manager's job is, and honestly, a manager's job is not even to book shows. That's why you have a booking agent like CEA, ICM, William Morris. Management's job is to deal the liaison with the label, with your lawyer, the business manager, the day-to-day stuff for an artist's career. Maybe sometimes, baby mama drama, sometimes child support, sometimes, legal stuff. Like, honestly, I've been it all. I've been through so much as a manager. And you could say we're high-paid, babysitters, I'm 20%. But like I said, you have to love what you do and have the passion. I love my artists. I love helping them and seeing them go from nothing to something. I encourage my artists and tell them to stay humble, never forget where you come from, because everything goes up must come down. But a management job is not easy. And managers are the key right now in the music industry that's really dying. Everybody's becoming a manager. Look at Leo Cohen. He just stepped down from Warner Music Group, and he's opening a management company. Jay-Z has a management company. Because management, you're getting 20% of the touring, the merchandise, the publishing, and the way the music industry is right now. It's really international money, because I travel the world, a lot of artists, international stars, and it's touring, shows, live performance. If you're an artist, you don't have a live performance, you ain't good, go find something else to do, because that's where the money's at, live performance. So that's what a manager does and a publicist does.
I also want to add too, there's a difference between publicity and public relations as well. Publicity, a lot of publicists, so-called publicists these days think, if you send out an e-blast, that's pretty much your job. No, it's a lot more than that. Publicity is, yes, you're in the newspapers, you're on the magazines, you're on the website. Public relations is what makes Nike want to sponsor you. Public relations is what makes you get, on a tour that's sponsored by Converse or things like that. It makes you relatable. It's like, what is it about you that can sell my brand? What is it about you that makes you a spokesperson? And your relatability to the public is what a publicist helps garner and get you to the level of getting endorsements and things of that nature. So the publicity is the news that kind of coincides with the public relations. So if you kind of understand what that means. So.
Also, a manager can kill an artist's chances of succeeding in the business also. Because it's managers that it's artists that I refuse to deal with because of ignorant manager. I had a guy tell me that they coming to me for me to provide a service for them, and the manager, so-called manager, start telling me how to do my business. It's something about me that made you want to come do business with me, so allow me to do my job. But because that manager was so ignorant and didn't know what he was talking about, I don't even want to see the artist. And it's sad because this artist got one of his homeboys from his hood that don't get management mixed up with investor. And a lot of artists seem to get, because a homeboy got a weed sack, or he might have got a little dope sack in the hood, he's doing his thing, got a little bread. That ain't your manager, man. He's an investor. Don't bring him into my studio and he telling me how to do my job and he don't have a clue. But something attracted me, them to me, but he comes in trying to tell me how to do my job. He come in smelling like weed, sagging his pants, and sometimes your appearance most people in the industry, if you come in and you sometimes you gotta understand that there's a thing called, I can go in my neighborhood and talk to my homeboys, but I know how to go from street to corporate. I know how to leave the street stuff. I got some street homeboys, don't get me wrong, but I know how to leave that in the street and convert into the corporate side of the game and talk to them. And if you are an artist and you got an ignorant manager, that reflects on you. So wherever you go, they're going to say, I remember him. He brought that old ignorant fool in my office. So I'm telling you, man, this is a serious business, and that's why they call it the music business. Sometimes, now look, I got homies, and it's certain shows, I leave the goons. Okay, man, you sit in the car, you make sure we get out of here all right. Then you got the ones that's from the streets but know how to carry themselves. Know who your homies are. Now don't get me wrong, I got some street homies. They know this, I got jobs for them. I say, you sit in the car, make sure we walk out of here all right. And then you know what, man, you right, Jazzy. Sometimes you leave the knuckleheads outside, and the ones that know how to carry themselves, you let them come inside. Because they know how to, I'm a Crip, but I know how to mingle with Bloods because I got sense, because this is the breadwinner in our camp. I'm not going to do nothing stupid that's going to spoil the chances of our breadwinner bringing bread to us. So I say that to say, sometimes your representation is your reputation.
I need to say this, homeboy management is definitely out the question, but what I do is I empower the homeboys to become other positions around the artist. Give them a road manager job, a tour manager job, security, if they're about their business. If they're out there just for the females, just weed, the groupies, and they don't want to learn, then I don't really deal with that. But trust me, in my career, I've dealt with so many entourages, posses, and homeboy management, and I'm always myself. I go in any hood I want and get respected, and I dress the same all the time in Adidas, but I also play the corporate world too. So it's just being yourself and knowing how to handle business. If I have a meeting at 2 o'clock, I'm there 30 minutes early. I don't smoke and drink, so I don't smell like that, but not knocking anybody, because each his own. But it's just about being professional, because you worked at Citibank and you showed up every day late, you're fired. You worked at a school, you're late, you're fired. It's like you're working at Kmart, you're fired. So that's really it. So like I said, it is what it is, and I know we got another question.
As far as songwriting and having like BMI, ASCAP, if you're not an established artist and you're building up your catalog as you're recording with the songs that are not even out and no one's heard, do you still register those, or do you wait?
Definitely register your music. You mean you want to know how to publish your records and get them published before they even hit the airwaves?
Right, like as if I'm recording, like I got 5 songs I recorded, and then do I let them sit, or as I've done with recording that song, do I register it right away, or do I let it sit?
I mean, that's your choice. It depends. I mean, if you're playing songs for certain people, I mean, and it's not copyright, then the downside or the bad part of that is if someone takes your content and does their own thing with it, you have no rights to say that you were the guy who originally created that. I know Jazzy knows Jazzy can really tell you how to publish your records and get them published like before they even hit the airwaves, before they even out. Like it's a long, real in detailed step process that you have to do, but you should definitely register your music. Yeah.
I would say, first of all, I'm gonna answer that question also. But I know I'm getting a lot of artists come to my studio, and they say that their managers tell them to do the poor man's copyright. Now, me personally, I'm totally against a poor man's copyright when you can do it the right way the first time. Like, I just feel a lot of artists get their habit mixed up with their career. If you invest $500 in weed and $200 in your career, be a professional weed smoker. And stop handing me CDs with permanent marker on them, but you got some of the best drink in your hand and some of the best grade of weed. I'd say this is an artist that's confused. That means he's investing more in his habit and less in his career. I just basically tell that artist, get out my face and come to me when you're ready. And that's almost 85% of West Coast artists. They invest more in their habit and less in their career. This is the music business. Get your business right. I'm tired of these dudes coming up to me, giving me CDs with permanent marker. I'm going to repeat myself because I'm sick of it. Permanent marker, bomb weed, good drink, toe-up-ass presentation.
And then will come to me and say, can you give me a discount on your services?
Yeah, and then they complain about, certain things. But I won't get too deep into that. But I'm just saying that's why we call it the music business. I mean, and I don't smoke or drink. 45, never smoke, never drink, and I don't knock it. But I'm real serious about business. If they say this artist is performing in New York, and I have to come to a meeting and represent you. If I come in there breath stinking, musty, busted pants, shoes look like they got 100,000 miles on them, no matter whatever arena you sold out there, when you come back here, I left a bad impression. They're going to say, man, your manager came in here stinking, funky, didn't know what he was talking about. But I'm just saying that your representation is your reputation. And that's I'm going to get some T-shirts and hand to all artists. Your representation is your reputation. If you got a manager that know how to close them deals, go in there, it ain't always based on how you dress, it's how you present yourself.
Exactly. I want to touch on it. If BMI or ASCAP, I was at a conference last week and I asked about 50 people, do you know the difference between BMI and ASCAP? And they all said no. It's sad. So if you're a producer, you're a songwriter, register with BMI or ASCAP. Good friend of mine's over at BMI, Malik Levy, he'll take care of you. And they welcome new producers and writers. And register everything, because you never know where it's going to wind up.
And make friends with your reps over there at BMI and ASCAP, because the more your relationship is what will make them take an invested interest in your career. If they see that you're interested in your career, they're going to go the extra mile for you. Malik is going to let you know what BMI conferences and panels and things of that are going on that you can participate in. But if you're not calling him, checking and seeing what's going on, then he's not just going to call you out the blue when he has Mariah Carey that.
And that's with everything, man. It's not what you know in this game, it's who you know. Believe that. I don't burn bridges. My Rolodex is really tight, but it's not what you know, it's who you know. So start shaking and baking and meeting people and knowing who's who.
And even if you're doing mixtapes, all artists, please keep this in mind. Even if you do a mixtape that you're giving away for free, copyright the lyrics, copyright your content. Please. There's too many artists out there doing mixtapes, and then their response is, it's a mixtape, I'm giving it away. It doesn't matter. Copyright all content, because if you hear another artist with them same lyrics on a song, you're going to be like, wait a minute, those are my lyrics, prove it.
Okay, the question I have for the entire panel, because when artists come to me, they usually don't have a budget or they have a small budget. So we have distribution deals, we have our PR, we have our producers, our management, even our investors. What's the first step? I mean, what do you say is priority? How do they get to people like you? That's usually their concern. How do I get a producer like Day One? How do I get a manager like Steve LaBelle?
First step, get Derek to invest. First step, I think a lot of artists overlook is building your team. You have to have a team. Like everyone keeps saying, no one does this alone. No one. I don't even do all I've done alone. I can't. None of us can. You have to start building your team. Too many artists make the mistake of building a crew, and everyone in the crew is an artist. Then when it comes to time to support that artist, no one wants to support that artist because they're all busy doing their own thing. You have to focus on building your team. Don't always have all the homies around you who all want to rap. Have one homie around you that's good at that's good at time management, that can help you make sure that you onto your radio interview at time. I don't even care if it's an independent internet radio show. Make sure that you're on time. And sometimes some artists are bad at certain things. Some artists are bad at being on time or being prompt or even styling themselves. No, really, look at yourself and look at yourself and say, okay, I'm not really good at networking with people, with talking to people, but my best friend is. He's real good at that, talking to people. Then put him in a position to network for you. And it makes you even look better. It makes you look better. Like, hey, I have this artist. His name is Joe Blow. He's over here. And then sometimes people take the people make the mistake of not really having the support system around them, and that can really hurt you. Make sure you got a guy that can shoot videos. If you have a guy that always has a camera all the time and he's a homie around the street, down the block, or your cousin, he always likes to shoot videos or he likes taking pictures, bring them people into your team and start building your organization, and that way you guys have a platform. Like, I've been around many of these artists that most of these people in here, I'm sure, listen to today, from Nipsey to Bishop Lamont to Nipsey, Kendrick Lamar, J-Rock, Glasses. Like, I've pretty much been involved with all these movements that help move their thing to the next plateau and the next level. So it's all about building your team and your brand, and that's what's really important to an artist's career. Make sure you have that support system. That's what we all need.
I want to refer back to what Polar Bear said on the last panel. Get a job. Invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, you can't expect anyone else to invest in your career until it gets to the point where you want it to get to. Because nothing is for free, like somebody else said. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't hear me. It takes money to make money. And what I do, there's a lot of time that goes into that. Well, I don't care how many relationships I have. Sometimes it might take 3 months of me calling Double XL to get you a write-up. But, that's the time that it takes out of my day, and that's not free. So, you know, if you want me to invest my time in you, I need you to invest your money in my time. And whatever you want to do in your life, you make a way to do it. If you want to get some weed or some drink or some whatever you want, you find some money. So you need to find the money to invest in your career.
I want to touch on Tiffany. You said like how do artists get to people like us? Like a lot of people approach me and say they rap and they this and that. Like sometimes it gets pathetic. But approach me with a business plan. Approach me with your marketing plan. Approach me with your end game. Approach me with your team. Like put it all on paper so I can see that you got everything. I'm gonna take it to my lawyer and I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna cost to consult or get down with me, because anybody can rap. But you gotta know the business. I wanna know what's your longevity, what's your end game. Most artists, you need to be creative, so come with that on paper. This is what I wanna do. This is my plan. This is that. And you gotta work harder than me. A lot of artists don't really wanna work. They just wanna give it to them. And that's why I'm very selective now who I put my time and energy in, because my time is real valuable now. You know, I just lost my mom, my brother, my aunt, and no one was there for me that I manage or that I deal with. People were there for me before this music stuff and knew me for me. So it made me wake up and find balance, because I never had balance in my life. It was all about the music, the business, the artist, traveling, because I love what I do, and the money was gonna come. But once people passed, they woke up and said, you know what, I need to go horseback ride, I need to go to football games, basketball games, go eat. My life can't just be this music stuff, because as you get older, you don't want to be in the grave and say, wow, he worked, he did all this stuff, but he didn't have no life. So now I take my life serious, and like even today, I have a personal thing to do, and I promised that person I was going to go to the baby shower. I have to go. I have to go to this birthday party. I have to go this. Everything can't be the music stuff no more, because I dedicate my life to this, but the artists don't want to dedicate their life to it. They just say they rap. Really? I can go to every corner in America and the world and find a rapper. Show me your plan. Show me your end game. Show me your business. Show me your team, and then we might be able to talk.
Steve LaBelle.
I'm not cocky, I'm just confident. You know, I swear I'm just confident, I'm not cocky.
Well, I mean, for a lot of the artists here, on most of the panel I've been knowing quite a while.
Uh-oh.
And, but I'm saying you guys all asked, you know, like you asked, where does it all start? We started off just like you. You know, we went to panels like this when we didn't know who the people were, but we saw each other over and over again. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. You know, I've dealt with a lot of people. We watched this game change. And in watching this game change, the things I do now is I just got back from the San Francisco Music Tech Summit up in the Bay Area. And it's a whole gamut of individuals up there that are on a whole nother level of what this new music game is going to be. And you guys are missing those things too. But I'm saying in those things, I can tell you really quickly that from a global perspective, things that are going on, like I said, the growth in everybody here, I mean, from Lisa on down with LRT Records, like, we've had our differences. But even with our differences, we still, oh, please, girl.
You guys wanna hear
But
the
anyway,
story?
even with those differences, we still deal with each other, we respect each other and what we do. Is that right or wrong?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And Steve, I mean, I met Steve 10 years plus. I've been dealing with Jazzy for 10 years. I've been dealing with Octavia for 10 years plus. But in all this, I've seen their roles grow. Like even with your balance, I watch your Facebook. And I see your balance when I watch you in the swimming pools and things like that. I mean, we've seen each other grow in this game. And as you guys continue to attend these, I've never been to a bad music conference in my life, because somewhere in that conference, people tend to discount different conferences, be like, man, that's just gonna be whack, whatever the case. But every one I've been to, I've met somebody that's been able to help me elevate in this game. So never look and judge by the cover, attend everything you can, because you're gonna meet somebody. If you can't come here and not ask a question, you feel me? Right. I took 4 people I consult for to the Tech Summit, and I told them, when you guys attend these conferences, speak up. Questions that, it's like school. When the teacher says to you, did everybody get that? Nobody raised their hand. Then one person asks me like, yeah, okay, now we all know what it was that we want to ask. We know the answer, but you can't be afraid. Be seen, speak to everybody on this panel, ask them questions, get their contacts, and elevate and grow and go to the next one. And as you elevate, you have to read what's going on. You just can't assume Every day I get up and I start my mornings with music business news. You feel me? I have personal relationships with the people at iTunes. I met a young lady at the conference from Brazil that works for the government for Brazil. And what the government of Brazil over the next 2 years, the FIFA is going to be there in 2014. The government of Brazil sent her to America and sending her across the world because they want to take Brazilian music and take different musics from across the world so they could start marketing that the games are going to be in Brazil. So they're looking for producers like Day One.
Right.
So you ask, how do these things happen? I don't even know Day One. But now I got questions for Day One. But where did I meet Day One? I met him here at the BNC Music Conference.
Right.
That people said that's just going to be whack or whatever the case may be. D. Conway and these guys are friends of mine. The guy streaming this stuff, Danny 44 Dogs. How do you incorporate, take these pieces and make things happen?
Right.
Well, you got to be able to connect the dots. When you connect the dots, you got to be able to monetize the dots. Because this, for us, it ain't no hobby. This how we eat. You feel me? So I commend you guys for coming. Ask questions, don't be afraid, because these guys are people who have been in this game for quite a while that can help you elevate and get to the next step. So please.
Yes. Ask a question.
Ask the damn question.
And also, you guys, I definitely recommend internships. I started my career in '91, forever ago, as an intern at Capitol Records. Shut up.
Forever ago.
And I'm still here. But, you know, you definitely got to pay your dues. You know, you got to do a lot of free work before you can start getting paid. And that's where you learn. That's where you learn.
I would suggest just find a mentor and follow their lead. You know, Russell Simmons and Jam Master Jay was my mentors. So
Yeah.
find a mentor, no matter if you model, act, sing, rap, produce, invest, whatever. Just find a mentor and learn from them and read up on them and try to get under their wing and just find a mentor.
Quincy Jones and Ice-T was my mentors. They
Nice.
stayed on me.
I have a different kind of question for y'all, industry veterans. And I didn't want to ask the pastors, and it's pertaining to like gospel music. As veterans in the industry, and y'all seeing how the industry is changing and things like that, I just want to hear some kind of feedback, because you have different perspectives. You have publicists, you have producers, managers, and things like that. As the industry is evolving, how do you see the industry changing when it comes to gospel music? Like the guy on the last panel mentioned about Tech Nine, who don't get radio play, but he makes tens of millions of dollars. I do know that he has a set fan base, which is kind of like satanic groups, because he rap, a certain kind of rap, which is already like a base fan base already, from the satanic world, so which was already kind of there. Now, with companies, major companies like Capitol, Sony, Universal, or whoever, how do you see the bridge between major companies and the church when it comes to putting a machine behind gospel music, or, breaking a new gospel artist, or the videos, or whatever? You know what I mean? I didn't have no certain question pertaining. I just wanted some kind of feedback. You as a producer, Mike, can tell me from producer perspective what you see out there, and him as a manager.
From his side, how
they
I see it.
recording this, and I want gospel artists around the world to kind of get a perspective of what they're against. I used to be in the industry myself from a business perspective and dealing with different individuals, and I had one of the cats that was one of the most majorest persons in the music industry who buy music and put it in the stores. All music, it don't matter what the genre is, put it in the stores. He actually told me that he could help me personally with gospel music, but it was a claw to it. He said, Mac, I'll help you any way that I can help you. Now, mind you, this is one, I don't care who it is, they put them in the store. He told me I can help you any way that you need help, but there's an exception. And the exception was that they can't be saying Jesus too much in their songs. Now, while this guy is telling me this, I'm looking up on his walls, and they got every major gospel artist there is. They are the ones who put them out. You name them, I don't care if they sold 10 million records. They the one who put them out. And it kind of blew me away. Like, kind of thing, like, okay, I'm trying to see, is it a block from the corporate perspective of not wanting to put the machine behind gospel music, whether it be, especially rap, because we're in the rap age. You know what I mean? We have singers on all levels, but rap is kind of a little different because it's this generation. The older generation is going to be gone, and no matter what, the rappers are going to be taking over churches, whether they be pastors, bishops, ministers, and so forth. So I just want to see what kind of feedback y'all
do you
had
guys mind if I,
for the
from a
audience out there.
distribution point of view?
Yeah.
I have several genres under my label: gospel, Christian gospel, country, Latin, world, hip hop, pop, and it's a genre. So when I'm looking at genres, and it's gospel, then of course you have to bring on the proper marketing, the proper publicist, and the placement is what's important with any genre, not just gospel. And that's what will help that. I'm just talking from a distribution point of view to get the music out there on the platform. So it's treated like any other genre. Maybe it's not as, and I got to tell you, from what I'm on my label, when I get my sales report, the 3 largest genres that sell the most music are Latin, because the community supports their artist, country, and pop, and gospel. Excuse me, 4. So it's not that you can't make money doing it. It's not that you can't get it in the right place. Yes, you have to have the right machine behind any genre. So it's not like it's a foreign genre. It's been around for a long time, but you have to have the proper placement.
Well, the reason I asked it like that is more so from gospel rappers.
Right.
Gospel music always been around and always went platinum when it comes to singing.
Right.
But we in a generation now, a lot of them singers is going out the doors and they being replaced by rappers.
Right.
And so you have producers who produce rap, you have managers who manage rappers, and I'm just trying to get a little feedback what they be running into, kind of thing.
I would say this, with any genre, like she said, it has to be outlets. Gospel's been around for a very long time. Gospel rap has been around for a very long time. You have records that come out all the time that praise. It just depends on the artist and how far and how hard they want to push that brand. Kanye West dropped Jesus Walks, and it was like one of his biggest records to date. And then you turn around, and today you have Meek Mills, who does an Amen record, and he gets a lot of backlash for his record because of how he's playing the middle, how he's playing the fiddle of using the word. I feel like gospel rap doesn't really have a lot of outlets, and that might be the problem that you're running into. There's not a lot of websites that post up gospel rap music, or a lot of video channels that play gospel music. I mean, sure, there's Sunday's Best and all of that stuff we all know and love, but at the same time, it's not a lot of outlets for gospel rappers to go. So if that's something that you're passionate about, I mean, it might be just simple as someone like yourself creating that outlet where many other artists that are having the same issue that you have and have somewhere to channel that music through to get to the fans. It's not that the fans aren't there, because like she said, gospel music does sell. So it's all about finding a way to reach your audience, the smartest way to reach your audience. And it could be as simple as creating a gospel website that does nothing but post up gospel rap records. It could be something as simple as that, or even creating a radio station that can play online, or you can maybe even do a podcast show that can play on iTunes or whatever it may be. Whatever it may be, you may have to be the person that builds that vessel for the rest of the people that go through that same channel you need.
Okay, what we'll do when you guys finish, we're gonna take on one more question so you guys could finish that conversation.
Yeah,
after.
on the side. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's business. So a hot
also
record is a hot
I
record.
wanted to say, not to cut everybody off on here, but you got to understand, like, not to bring up the game and 40 Glock situation. It's just that we're in a world of music that thrives more on negative than positive. The pastor said something on the other panel. He said, as long as you write with the Lord, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's unfortunate that this industry, which is the music industry, is more driven by negative than positive. And I don't want to bring up the 40 Glock and Game situation, but we had a situation with Game and 40 Glock. They had their situation that hit the internet. But you have 50 different positive things that happened that same week, but everybody paid attention to the negative. So I agree with Day One. You may be the frontline soldier to create something to bring
The platform.
gospel soldiers together. But in this industry, unfortunately, you know, if you have a Kanye West and Jay-Z concert and you have Mary Mary across the street, how many people going to go see Mary Mary, and how many people, if we do a survey, how many people you think going to go see Jay-Z and Kanye and Mary Mary?
Yeah, he kind of basically answered my question.
Yeah.
I figured if I answered, asked y'all,
Mhm.
due to the fact that y'all cater to secular music,
Yeah,
somebody would have something. And that's basically it, creating a new avenue.
I want to touch
Of the
real
kind
quick,
of
like
thing.
you say Tech Nine, right? And you say a satanic fan base or whatever the case might be. All that is a cult fan base. He built that fan base for so long, he became a brand. A lot of people don't even know what a brand is. A brand is when the consumer is emotionally attached to you. McDonald's, Heineken, Burger King, Mercedes, that's a brand. You know why? They stay consistent. They don't change their images, their logos all the time. That's the problem with artists. They don't know who they are, so they changing everything up. But Tech Nine, Lil Wayne said his name, so everybody knows who Tech Nine is. I went on tour with Tech Nine in '98 with Insane Clown Posse.
Wow.
Insane Clown Posse was on Def Jam and they makeup on their face. And Crazy Bone went on tour with them. I was like, what is this? But you know what? I'm open to all types of genres. And, ICP, they throw soda on you. They sell it every night, more than your rapper on the radio. They do 40, 50,000 a night in merchandise. Tech Nine's got a machine. If anybody knows who Violet Brown is, she works with Tech Nine now. She's the biggest urban buyer for the warehouse chain stores that is not many independent labels.
She the one who sent me to the guy that I was
Right.
just talking
So I'm
about.
just telling you, is like Insane Clown Posse, ICP, they have a brand that's bigger than a lot of these rappers on the radio because they took the time to do it, and they don't have to be on the radio. No one even know who Tech Nine is still if Lil Wayne didn't say his name.
Yeah, he's
So
been
I'm
around
just
a long time.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I've been on tour with them. I witnessed doing 40,000 a night in merch. And another thing about the gospel thing is like, everything has a genre. Everybody has a lane for different things. I love gospel music. I listen to Yolanda Adams. So I'm saying to you is, whatever your trade is, whatever you love and your passion, if it's gospel, just stick to it. Don't change because someone else doesn't want to listen to it. Gospel music will always be, you know why? It's church music. Everybody goes to church.
I'm talking about gospel rap, though.
Oh, gospel rap?
Specifically.
I might have met one or two people doing gospel rap. I would love to hear that, but
Specifically rap.
if you do gospel rap, stick to it.
No,
Don't be a follower, be a leader.
Yes.
Be innovative, be
Gospel
creative, and do it.
Gangsters did very well.
Yes, do it.
Gospel Gangsters
Okay.
was
Yeah, I'm not a
successful
rapper completely. I'm trying to
Yeah, just be
help
yourself.
create an avenue
Well,
for gospel rap.
let's finish that after, and you guys can continue that conversation because we need to really shut down. But we got one more question. We're going to close out, and then I don't know. I think you might have to leave, but when the panel's over, I'm sure some of them will be available. You guys can exchange numbers and business cards or whatever the case may be. But we do have to shut down, and we have one more question.
Okay, we're from New Mexico, so our marketing is different for us. We don't have we have 1 million people in the whole state, so we're doing our best when we travel. In distributing wise, I need some advice on how I would go about stabilizing places to distribute our music and our shirts and everything like that in the cities I stop at. Is that a waste of time? What do you think? Is that a waste of time doing that or distributing in every city that we touch down in? Because marketing in our own state is not going to be, people are not going to accept that. I mean, we already have problems just being from New Mexico, people not even putting our album in and listening to our music because of the state we're from. And then when we go on stage, the face changes because it's, they can't understand, maybe they don't conceive that people are coming from that area with the art that they
You
that
from
we have.
Albuquerque?
We're from Albuquerque, yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about
Exhibit
distributing your music like online or physically?
No, I mean physically,
Physically.
ourselves,
Oh, okay.
when we go, because see, we're doing most of our advertisement goes when we travel.
So
Because
you're
we have
Right.
shows in our own city, but,
So
I
you're
mean, we have
asking
our fan base there.
So you're asking, is it smart when you go to places like Los Angeles to hand your music?
Right, we
Yes,
want to do
very
that.
smart.
We want
Very
to do
smart.
that.
Wherever you are.
Very
Should
smart.
we do that every time we touch down? Is that a waste of time or a waste
No.
of money?
It's probably the
Because we're
most- it's
making
probably the
our
most
paying to
important
make
thing
the
you can do.
album. I understand our covers, our sleeves, our CDs themselves, we're willing, we don't mind. We'll put whatever, we work hard for ourselves.
I want to
We're
say
a
this,
team,
like,
but I don't want to waste.
I'm gonna answer that question. I come from the grassroots world, right? We make CD snippets, T-shirts, flyers, poster boards, rap buses, rap vans, and go into every city and go to the independent retail stores, go to the mix show, radio, go to the barbershops, go to the malls, go to the hood, go to the suburban areas, go to the schools, and give out stuff. Most major labels don't even do that no more. So what you're doing is grassroots. That's the best way to break something. So you from Albuquerque, start with New Mexico, then Arizona, then, just micro market, and they turn into a tornado. Because I love that way of grinding. I love that way of working. Instead of sitting back, like, I'm gonna throw something on the internet, get 3 million fake views, and I'm a celebrity. Go out there and grind. Keep grinding. Whoever don't like you, okay. Whoever likes you, build with them. And you create like that. It's gonna start small. It's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. So salute, because you're going out there and hitting those cities. A lot of people don't hit those cities. I still do that.
All right, in closing, I want you guys to give a round of applause to our panelists. And like I said, some of them will be available. So once again, the BNC Music Council want to thank you for attending this panel, and I'm sure there's more to come. What you got, D? One more? We got one more panel after this, but we have to close out with this, so we'll expect you guys to stay for the final panel. Right, D? All right, so once again, let's give it up, and thank you guys.
Thank you. Please get at me at Twitter, at Steve Lobel. Let me know that you guys listened to us today. At least Twitter saw. Mine's at Steve Lobel. I'll also let you theirs. I like to see tweets to show me that, people really listened and said, reach out to me or say something I said. It's at Steve Lobel. If you're not on social media, then you're not in the game.
All right.
Thanks for having me.